All right, amazing people. Happy Tuesday. Good to see you. Big waves to you. Some of you I've seen this morning. First of all, Monday through Friday, if you ever get a chance to join us on our Coach's Corner, we do it Monday through Friday. Take a word of the day and kind of elaborate for 15 minutes, no more than 15 minutes. And we do a lot of giveaways on there. So please feel free to come be our guest. We'll put it up in the chats comments for you. So why are we doing this? So I'll tell you kind of where this started as we're letting people in the waiting rooms. We've got still several people coming in the waiting rooms, Andrea. Andrea and myself started, I don't know, a year and a half ago before an Eric Worre event. We started and did a master class or what do we call it, Andrea? Maybe a mastermind, I believe is what we called it. We did it every Tuesday, 12 o'clock. And the premise of it was we were going to just collaborate together, right? On this amazing industry, how to do it. We brought other people in from other companies on it. It was a really good, we did it for a year, just about every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And then we ended that a couple of months ago. And I've been pondering, like, what do I do? How do I start it back up? What do I ask? And I thought, I'm going to do a chalk talk session. Everybody, I just so everybody knows that calls me coach, I love that. If nobody ever called me by like Palmer or my first name, if they just called me coach, it would be the biggest compliment ever, because at the end of the day, I hope that that's what I can do for the rest of my life, is just help people be a better version of themselves. And I think while I do that, it does nothing but inspire me to be a better version, and I'm flawed and have my own issues every day, but working together with people, it's amazing what we can accomplish, when we're just authentic and go, what, I don't know but one perfect person to ever walk this world, and it sure is not me. So I just want, to try to do as good as we possibly can do here. And we're in this amazing industry with network marketing. And I believe the power of the industry is about to really show its forces in the world over the next 5 years and beyond. And there's a lot of reasons that line that thought process up. And anytime things get restricted, right? Anytime you sit and you look and professionals around the world go, man, things are changing in real estate. I'm blessed to own a lot of real estate in different venues, whether it's apartments or rental complexes or, Airbnbs and things like that. But things are changing. Things are changing in the real estate world. Things are changing in the banking world, with inflation. And anytime that happens, this industry kind of flexes its muscle in the fact of saying, you know what, we're not perfect, but we sure are a better way, and we give the average person an opportunity to really go do something special here. And then what I love is if we teach people talents of make more money, spend less, invest the rest, and start to learn people or teach people how to let their money go work for them out there in the world through real estate, through stock market, through other chains of ways that you can go let your money trust and T-bills and all this stuff, right? There's just a whole world of information out there and knowledge that we can give. So what I want this class to be about, this chalk talk session, is where we just collaborate. We collaborate on the philosophy, different things each week on the philosophy of the industry. And here's what I'm going to vow to you. I am going to, because I'm about to turn it up around this industry and what I personally do, like traveling, going, doing it all, social media, you name it. But I'm going to proclaim to you and put it out there that I'm going to try to be available every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central to do this Chalk Talk session with you. Now, there might be some Tuesdays and I'll get the word out if we do have to cancel, but I am going to try to do my dead level best to be here with you and collaborate with you and have interaction with you on here. And so feel free to invite anyone you want to this platform. Okay. So next Tuesday, you can start getting the word out and invite anybody. So, all right. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm also going to pull guests into this, whether we're talking about how to do Instagram or how to better utilize Facebook or how to do, maybe we're doing contact manager applications so that you can keep up with the people you're prospecting and follow up better. And I'm going to bring on people from around the industry, that's been in the industry, that's doing it at a high level, that it's got integrity, and that we can have conversations. Or maybe we have conversations about investment opportunities and where people in today's world are putting their money when they make a little extra, right? So we're just going to do a lot of different things. But I hope for me that this is a give back, because I want to tell you, and I want to start it off by this. So today's going to be a little bit unique because I wanted to set the groundwork. It will be a hard stop on an hour. Sometimes it'll go 45 minutes. It might go 30 minutes, but it will not go past an hour. I will put a hard stop on that. And I value your time. And so I will bring you things that you can keep, you can use, you can reteach, because I believe we learn with the intent to reteach it and share to others. And so that's kind of what I want to bring, but I want to tell you my story. Okay. And I'm sitting there back several years ago, over a decade ago, and I had just left the coaching world. I'd been a high school football coach. And for everybody that knows educators, we don't make a lot of money. Okay. And so I'm sitting there, and I was an educator and I was a football coach, and two kids of our own, and just struggling to make it to Friday, paycheck to paycheck, just grinding it out. I got excited about tax season because I'd always get a refund, and I'd take that refund and I would pay off my credit card from the previous year. Do you know anybody like that does that? Like you spend all year and you kind of get it, you get that credit card that's kind of built up. Christmas is a killer. And then, but you get excited because now it's tax season. You're going to get a little bit of a refund back, and I'll take that refund, I'll pay off my credit card, and we'll do it all over again. And that's kind of the world I lived in. And then I went into being a principal and an athletic director. And that's when I was introduced to this industry. And I didn't know if I could do it. I'd never been heavily involved in sales. But I knew I had to do something different, because at that time, if you remember back in 08, 09 and what happened, right? How many of you remember that? Like it was like so many crazy things were going on. Gas was going through the roof. And I'm sitting there and I'm driving to school every day, and I'm having to fill up I had a 45-minute commute, and I'm filling up, and I'm like, man, I have went to school. I have got the job. Like, I've got all the degrees, but I'm sweating putting gas in my car because of the gas prices. What am I going to do? And I'm starting to think about, well, I can go back, lawn service, I can do this. I'm thinking about all these different ways that I can make extra money. And that's when this industry appeared to me. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, but I think I could get a couple of people involved. They showed me a play. They showed me how I could bring a couple of people on board, get my initial purchase money back. And I'm sitting there going, well, what could go wrong? Like, if you get your money back, like what could go wrong in this deal, And And if I can, utilize something that betters my health, like that's just a win-win in the health and the finance category. So why not give it a shot? What's the worst that can happen? I purchase a couple of $100 worth of product, start using it. I mean, what happens? And so I just got started. And for me, here's the lucky, here where I feel very lucky. I was, hopefully, if you're taking notes today, if you're not this person right now, then I don't believe you can grow a business in this industry. Because here's where I was when this found me. I knew nothing about the industry. I had never done this industry before to any big degree, but I was willing, I was coachable, and I was hungry. And I believe right now where we're at in the world today, if you're the person that's sitting here, no matter if you've been in the industry for 25 years or you're just getting started, if you're willing right now and you're coachable right now and you have a hunger in you right now, you've got the three things for the recipe that could go dominate this thing. Now, I help people all the time. It's like, oh, I want to go crush this. And the minute you call them and ask them to do something, well, I can't do that. Or you say, let's reach out to them. Well, that person don't want to do this. Well, and they start making all these excuses. It's like, you're not willing. Here's what you're willing to do. Make a lot of excuses. So see ya. Gotta go do something else. But if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, and that's where it found me. That's where I was. I was tired of being broke. I wanted to get so far away from broke. I never saw broke again. How many of you's been there? This is where I was at. I was sick of being broke. And so we got started. And I just was coachable. So if Antoinette told me to do something and I knew she was having success, I didn't ask questions. I just did it. Hey, Brent, you need to do a part. Done. Hey, Brent, you need to get you a Facebook. Done. Like, I didn't have a Facebook account. I didn't have anything. I didn't do any of that. And so I just want you to know where I was at, but I made a decision. Okay, I'm going to do this. And it took me about 2 years, really about 15 months, but let's just call it 2 years. It took me about 2 years to get to a solid 6-figure income that was residual. And what I mean by that is just auto ships alone, subscribe and saves alone had me to a 6-figure place in the business. Several thousand people was recruited to our organization in the forms of customers and we called them promoters, but brand partners. And at that point, I'm sitting there still working a full-time job, making $25,000, $30,000 a month. And I'm like, this has got to go away. Like, this is not normal. I'm not supposed to. I had this whole, I tried to sabotage myself because I'm like, I'm not worthy of that type of money. Like, at first I felt like I was working hard. And then I felt like I'm not deserving of this because I'm not working hard enough. How can you work a full-time job as a principal athletic director, working 70, 80 hours a week and pull in a side income of 25 grand a month? And it was happening over and over and over again. Now, at that point, that's when I left education. But I still was thirsty to learn. And thank goodness, I thank God every day for my mentor. Because here's two of the best advice, two of the biggest things he ever gave me. He said, Brent, you can make as much money as you want to do in this industry. But here's the two biggest killers. I hope you write this down. I hope you remember this. He said, here's the two things that will kill you in this industry every time. Greed and ego, or ego and greed. How many of you have seen that happen in people in this industry? Listen, It happens. It happens. And so I was so scared of losing what we'd created that one of the things that I vowed to do was I'm going to wake up every morning and pray ego don't get me, because it can. I've watched it get high school football coaches before, and I've watched it get principals, and I've watched it get people all over the world. Like, ego can get us every day. We got to wake up, check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. But the other thing is greed. If it becomes more about my pocketbook, like if I'm going to Antoinette going, listen, if you do this and this and this, but the root of it is to make me more money, I'm going to wreck myself. Because this industry is all about putting the person, the newest person, first. Just like you would if it's your job or it's your business, right? You pay your employees first before you get paid if you own your own business. How many of you owned your own business before? Like, you don't get a check until your people get a check. And if you treat this industry that way, it is a magical thing. And you go, well, it can't be that hard to keep your greed and your ego in check. Oh, it's a killer for people. And so thank goodness for my mentor. And I still pray today that greed and ego does not get me, okay? Because I've watched it get so many people. So once over the first 5 years, when the first $1 million was made in the industry, and I was taught by my mentor to earn more, spend less, invest the rest. And I watched that million turn into 2, to turn into 3, to turn into 4, and grow. Then I'm like, I gotta teach more, because I believe you learn with the intent to teach. I believe that as an educator. And so I got to teach this. And so that's where calls like this come from. Okay. And I just want you to know that, like I'm so blessed to be in this industry. I love being a network marketer. I love being in our space. I think, where else can it find somebody like me that for the price of a kid's Xbox, I could do this and build it into wherever my imagination would take me? I mean, it's the best thing in the world. It's like people ask me all the time, how much did it cost? How much money did you, first of all, it's how much did it cost you to do this? I'm like, well, $500. Well, how much money have you made? And I'm like, I don't know yet, because it's still going on. That's pretty cool, right? For $500 and it's still going on. That's not a bad gig. So, what I want to provide to you is just nuggets, like not from me. None of this is from me. All of this is something I've learned from someone else, and I'm just sharing it with you. So I'm going to bring people on. I want communication. I want collaboration. We're going to talk a little bit today, and then feel free to invite, if you choose, whoever you want to this platform on Tuesdays. So I'm going to the basic of the basic of the basic of this industry since the beginning of this industry today. And then I want to talk about it at the end, and I want to give us some form of action at the end. Okay. So a call to action. All right. I'm going to pull up some slides. We're also going to put these slides in Telegram for everybody to have. Okay. If Andrea, I'll make sure that's right. She'll always correct me if it's not. So here's where we go today with this. And Andrea really liked that picture. I'm not so sure I'm really crazy about that picture, but anyway, it is what it is. Just kidding, Andrea. First thing, 3 things you must have to grow in our industry: events, tools, and recognition. And I want you to think about this. Now, somebody on here is going to be like, I've heard this a million times, but you got to dissect yourself right now. Okay. And you can't go, well, I don't have a team yet. No. Wherever you're at right now, dissect yourself from this point forward and implement, because you've got to have events, you got to have tools, and you got to have recognition to build a team. To build a team, you can sell, but will it turn into residual for you month over month over month over month? These three things will turn into residual income for you over time if you're willing to do that. So events, tools, and recognition. Let's go with number one, events. So events. Now I'm going to list some, but I also want you in the chats to list more. Okay. And Andrea, let's be interactive if you can unmute. So events are, I put Zooms. Is a Zoom an event? Anything you can invite people to is an event. Is a Zoom an event? Yes or no? Absolutely it is. Prospect Zoom, team Zoom, like anything I can invite people to. What about parties? I call them parties because I like it better than meetings. But can I, tomorrow night, Andrea Rosser, where are we going tomorrow night? No, that's tonight. I'm sorry. Where are we going tonight?
We're going to Athens, Alabama.
And you've actually got her with you, right? Buffy Wallen. Buffy, just real brief, like no income claims, but a rough estimate in your first 5 years in the industry, or let's just say the first 3 years, what would you say you brought in the industry? First 3 years, roughly.
50.
Higher.
50 what? 50,000? 50,000?
50,000 a year, which would be about 150 for a 3-year process. Buffy, did you ever leave your job?
No.
What do you do?
I drive a school bus. Clean
How many
houses
kids you?
every day. I have 5.
5 kids. When I got to know Buffy and connected with Buffy, she had triplets in the 8th grade. Now, let me ask you this. Is there anybody out there that don't think that if you had triplets, an extra $50,000 a year on the side, not taking away from doing your day jobs and cleaning homes, would that help anybody? She was willing, coachable, and hungry. That was it. And so parties, I can invite people to. Network luncheons, I can invite people to. Corporate events, regional events, super Saturdays. But what else? Andrea, help me in the chats. Can you think of other things on events? There's a point to this madness. Hang with me, okay? But coffee dates, I love it. Joan Klein said coffee dates. Okay. Sunday dinners. Jerry said Sunday dinners.
Facebook
Come
Live.
on, it can be social media, it could be anything. Facebook Lives is another. That's another. Golf. Wherever you're sharing your story. Wherever you're sharing your story about why you did this industry is an event. So imagine if we just built for events and drove people to events and let that connection process over time build our residual business. That's why this philosophy of events has been going on since the beginning of this industry, and it will never leave this industry. It will never leave this industry as a way to build residual income. Okay. And notice I used social media and I used traditional. When I call it traditional, knee to knee, belly to belly, both of those are needed. Both of those are needed. But if you can think of others, put it in the chats. But remember, I asked you to dissect yourself. Because if some people were honest with themselves, I want you to think about your last 6 months. Have you done any of these in the last 6 months? And it's okay. It's okay, because that's why we're on here. We're on here to learn, and we're on here to think about it. But I mean, if you're not doing Zooms, and you're not doing parties, and you're not doing corporate events and regional events, Super Saturdays, you're not doing Facebook Live, like if it's no, 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 then why would you be frustrated with your income?
Mhm.
Like Buffy talked about driving a school bus. They're not going to pay her if she's not wanting to, like if she just says, I'm not going to drive anymore. Well, we're not going to continue sending you a check. But that's more reasonable, right? Or if I don't show up as a banker, they're probably not going to pay us. So all of that is pretty self-explanatory. I think we got some people in the waiting room. Maybe I'm wrong. I got it. So does that make sense to everybody? Because I believe, speaking of my mentor, he's calling me right now. I believe that you got to keep this. This is like a coach that has a playbook that sometimes gets through, and they've been in coaching for 3 or 4 years, and then they look up and they go, oh my goodness, I've gotten away from what the main thing is. If you're wondering what to fill up on your calendar, it's events. And if you're not filling up events on your calendar, that's why I say do it all. If you really want to grow fast, just do it all. But if you fill up events, you get to the end of the month and you filled up your calendar with events, your business is growing. If you don't, it's not. It's really simple. Okay, the next thing's tools. I got to look at my toolbox and go, okay, what's in my toolbox? Well, what are tools? So I'd like some feedback here with you in the chats, but tools are videos, they're products. The New Age Share app is a tool. Social media, do you realize Facebook, that's what Facebook is? It's a tool for you. Instagram is a tool. TikTok is a tool. You name it, all these out there. What about a connect out? Like what I mean by that, like an out that keeps up with everything, right? It's a tool. But so is three-way calls or three-way text. So is Zooms. Like all of this stuff, there's tools that are in my toolbox that when I need it, I pull it out. It's kind of like the encyclopedia back in the day, right? How many of you remember the encyclopedias? You had them in your home. I know you can't, nobody's got them now, but here it is. It's on the wall. It's back here. And Tracy Turnberg comes to me and he's like, I need to know about Antarctica. And I'm like, dude, I'm a coach. Okay. I coach football. Don't ask me those type questions. But I got these encyclopedias. So I turn around and I grab the A and I bring it here and we open it up and we go to Antarctica and we start talking, right? Or maybe it's Alaska, which I still got to get back to Daryl Peterson. And Daryl, I'm trying to get this out of Gary Racer on Alaska. So I just thought of that. So, but here's the thing. Tools are the same way. Is there going to be one video that services everything you will ever need in this business? It'd be nice. It'd be nice if there was one video, but odds are it's going to take several different ones. And then you got to know your audience and know what to present to them. Products, same way. Let me ask you a question on products. Products, did you realize products are a tool? But if we were going over to Dr. Bob's tonight and he invited 5 of his besties over to the house to hear about New Age, what would happen if I brought out every product in New Age's house and I started piling them in his house and I started stacking the cabinets and we got this, we can do this, and we can scratch your feet, we can do this. I mean, I'm laying it all out there and they're like, whoa. They might be nice, but they're not joining. But products are a tool when used right. So I find a selection. You see right here on this right here, I got a little Tahitian noni, got a little Limu 5X, got a little burn, got a little blue frog, sampling them out, like got a little, you see that little thing there, it says the power your wellness, got a little bit of what noni fruit does actually. So, got a little selection right there. But products are our friend, products are tools. And so find what works for you and pick 4, pick 5, and get really good at sharing those, right? And then once you get them in the door, the rest of the super Walmart or the Costco, if you will open up for them. Okay. So different things are tools here, but I'm looking at the chats right here, Andrew. Is anybody else putting tools in there? And remember, there's a method at the end of this madness of me talking about.
Jane talked about a great one. First
Tell
of all,
me.
transformation, right?
Your transformation is a tool. Your story's a tool. Buffy Wallen having triplets. Do you realize those triplets today? Here's the power of transformation. Those triplets today are all 3 of them are married. Okay. Now they didn't get married in high school. They're out. They've already played college basketball, and all 3 of them are now married. And now, well, one's having grandbabies for Buffy. Mm-hmm. But guess what Buffy's going to talk about tonight at her experience party? She's going to talk about how she got started. Because that's where the connection is. Dr. Crystal Vance is going to talk about how she got started a decade ago. Because that's where people find. So transformation is a tool. Okay? It's a tool. Is there any others that people... Christy Elliott said your ad tag message pages. Yes. Absolutely is a tool. That's where you can take prospects and sit them in. And we're going to have a session on ad tag message that Ashley Paulson is great at this. Great at this. So somebody said the video I just did of the play, it absolutely is a tool. I've already used the play video probably 10 times this week because it's just easy. I'm like, here's how you get started. And I just press play, or I send it to them, just press play. And then I let them watch that and then ask questions, right? Why do I want to waste my breath? Like you don't have to make this hard. It's work smarter, not harder. And you go, well, I don't know if I like the exact way. I understand because it's my voice. I totally get that. But here's the bottom line. Look for ways to work smarter, not harder. It's just like sharing 4 or 5 products rather than sharing 35. I'd hate to have to talk to people about 35 products, but I can handle 4 or 5. So how many tools can you figure out in here? And it's all about pulling them out when you need them. And your story is absolutely your best tool. Now, I intentionally took a little bit longer to tell my story, but me telling my story tonight will take 2 minutes. There's just some highlighted points, and we're going to talk about stories and how to tell your stories inside of this so that we can all get better at telling our stories in a more concise manner when we need that tool. Sometimes you got to pull out the 2-minute story tool, because if you pull out the wrong tool of the 15-minute story tool, well, you lose them if you pull it out in the wrong time. So flyers are a tool. How many of you use flyers to announce events? They're all announcements, right? They're not the end all be all, but flyers are announcements of events, of recognition, of things that are coming up, keeping people informed, engaged, communicated with, but you still can't feel energy on a flyer. So I always ask myself about this. If Ashley Paulson breaks a rank, am I going to put a flyer out? Absolutely, I'm going to. But can she feel the energy and the passion of me through that flyer? She'll appreciate that flyer. But I better pick up the phone and call Ashley because she's my residual income. Obviously, we love her. Obviously, she's connected. But from a business standpoint, is it worth 30 minutes of my time or 10 minutes of my time or 5 minutes of my time to call and recognize somebody that is paying me a residual income month over month over month over month? Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. So we will have a class on building flyers. Andrea, if we could, we're getting some good ones today on ad tag message, how to build flyers. Because if you're waiting on somebody to build your flyer, good luck. It's kind of like Jim Rohn said back years ago. That said, if you're waiting on somebody to knock on your door and motivate you in the morning to do this business, hey, good luck. I hope it happens for you. All right. What if they don't come? That's a scary thought. Like you're just not going to be motivated. You just walk around every day like, nobody knocked on my door today. It's not going to happen. So don't wait on flyers. Go to Canva, learn, like go to some different things, but we will absolutely do a course on it. And Ronnie, I wasn't coming at you on that. That's a great avenue to talk about how to actually do flyers. Okay, last one. Events, tools. Remember, dissecting yourself. Are you doing any of this? Recognition. The first thing on recognition is you've got to reward and recognize yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a lot of different things you can do. Like you can do a flyer up with you on it, that you're over something, you're partnered with somebody on something. Like you can announce to the group, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose 15 pounds a day, but we're talking about business right now. Okay. We're talking about how to make money. Like, how do you recognize yourself and reward yourself? Like that's the first thing of recognition. If you don't know how to reward or recognize yourself, you're probably not going to be very good at recognizing others. Okay. You got to be able to do some things so that you can recognize yourself. But the other is, what about new people coming into your business? Do you make flyers with your new customers? Do you make flyers with your new brand partners? Do you have a system in place where you're calling them and, hey, Andrea, welcome to the team. We're super excited. Hey, my name's Brent. I know you might not know me, or I just enrolled you. Like we got to establish that communication today. Even if I recruit them on social media. Andrea, how many people have I recruited on social media over the last 10 years?
A lot.
Okay. A lot. I don't know how many people we've recruited in this industry. It's in the hundreds, but social media has been a big one. But just because I recruit them on social media, do I not call them? Do I not talk to them? Do I not ever engage with them or connect with them or go see them or know the color of their carpet in their home? Absolutely not. If I want them to turn into a residual business, which is the power of our industry, I've got to create the connection and the bond. Okay. So the other is team events. Like outside of the company event, what are you doing with your team when it comes to events or social media or sending them a handwritten card or sending them a gift that might cost $3? Like, what are you doing on your team to engage in this? Because here's the thing, it goes back to my mentor, what he taught me. He said, Brent, there's going to be people that come into the industry. And he said, ego shows up in a lot of different ways. And he said, one of the things that you'll always hear from people that's got a team is they'll quit servicing their team that's building them a residual income stream. and they'll start wanting someone else to service them. Well, the company's not doing enough. My upline don't do enough. And it's like, wake up, they're paying you, right? You're getting a residual income off of them. And so what are you doing to recognize them with connection events, with social media type things that recognize them, with individual cards that you could write? They've even got technology now with cards that you can go on. Andrea, what is the card company that we use? Okay. It's where you go and you write a handwritten note and you press send and it licks it, stamps it, mails it, does it all for you in a handwritten note.
It's felt cards.
Felts.
Felt, F-E-L-T.
F-E-L-T cards. And so another way, you know, if you're on the road, if you're traveling, you're busy, that, okay? So when I go back and I recount events, tools, and recognition, those are the three pillars and cornerstones of building a residual income stream here. Yes, you first got to enroll someone. Did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong, Andrew? Okay. Yes, you first got to enroll someone. Yes, you've got to get someone started. And we're going to talk about how to do that. And but at the end of the day, I got to know these three things, because once I do, then I got to start leveraging these three things so that I can build this residual income business that this industry is known for and this industry is powerful for. Last thing. Action plan for today. Here's what I'll tell you. As people in our industry, try not to do events or anything where at the end of it, you don't give an action out. Like it'd be kind of like going into your home and you've invited a bunch of prospects and you looked at them at the end of it and you said, hey, glad y'all came. I'm leaving. See you tomorrow. And you're out the door. And you're like, how am I supposed to make money? Like, how are we supposed to move? Action plan is the same thing. So leave every instant with your team. Like everything you do, leave it with an action item. What's next? Where are we going? What are we doing? And so today we've got one for all of you, including myself. And we're going to talk about it next week for the first 15 minutes. And here's the action plan. Number one, schedule an event and announce it to the world. If you're not on New Age Nation, which is one of our Facebook groups, but it's one that I can keep up with and see you do it. But schedule an event and announce it. Do a flyer with your picture on it. Okay. I don't care what the event is. We just laid out all kinds of events, but do something. And when? Over the next 7 days. Like not, well, I'll do that May the 19th. Come on. Like over the next 7 days, like let's take action here. And you go, well, I can't do that. Find an event you can do based off all these events over the next 7 days. Put your picture on it, like announce you. That's a form of recognition for yourself. And then start to build for it. Announce it in New Age Nation. Another thing I want you to do is track how many times you used a tool over the next 7 days. So I want you to track it. I want you to write it down or text it to yourself so we can talk about it. Next week, I should be able to say, Dr. Bob, what tool did you use? Dr. Bob says, I used the play video. I'm just using that one for an example. Dr. Bob, you used the play video. How many times you used it? I showed that video 10 times. How'd it go for you, Dr. Bob? It was horrible. No, I'm kidding. Dr. Bob says, you know what? I signed up one. Great. Now we're making progress. We're doing something, right? Over the next 7 days, pick a tool or even multiple tools and track how you use them or how many times you used them. And let's collaborate about that. And then the last is recognition. Over the next 7 days, between today and the next Tuesday, Chalk Talk, recognize yourself. Maybe it's through an event. Maybe it's through an event. Recognize yourself somehow. Maybe it's your transformation. You're going, look at me, I've lost 3 pounds. Look at me, I'm in the gym. Look at me, I'm doing something, right? Get okay with recognizing yourself, because there's a you out there watching. There's a you out there watching you. Okay? You go, no, it can't be another me out there. That's kind of scary for me. But there is another you out there, and they're watching. They want to lose 3 pounds. They want to make some extra money. They want to go to the gym early. Like whatever it is, recognize yourself and then recognize someone else over the next 7 days. And I'm talking about, I want to document this. Like, it's going to be exciting. We've got 78, nearly 80 people on here. Imagine we go out and we recognize someone else, like through a card. Hey, I just noticed you. I see what you're doing. Keep up the great work. Love you, Brent. Send it to them. Or maybe it's a phone call. I just want to recognize. Or maybe I do a flyer up and then I give them a phone call. But let's talk about, there's going to be people that come back next week and go, oh my goodness, I did this recognition for this one person. Let me tell you what happened. Is those doable tasks? You got to be willing, you got to be coachable, and you got to be hungry. I think we're all willing or we wouldn't be here. Are you coachable? Or will you say, you know what, he's told me to do things before, I never did them, it's not that big of a deal? Or will you say, you know what, I'm going to use this Chalk Talk class to up my game in this profession that's going to explode over the next 5 years? So just thank you, Andrea, for that. We'll put this out there for everybody. So you got the slides, you know what it is, you can use them. But any takeaway from today, real quick? We've got just a few minutes. Antoinette, I hate to put you on the spot, but you're a lovely lady. Andrea, I told Antoinette yesterday, I believe, of how much she helped us at the event and was so willing to just jump up there and do whatever was needed. Antoinette, anything that you hear today that you go, you know what? It sheds a different light, because you've seen the industry, you've been in the industry some, but I always believe when you show up to something, the Lord blesses you with something to take away.
Right.
Do you have a takeaway today?
My takeaway is, just being reminded of some of the tools maybe that I haven't been using or wasn't thinking about. We do a weekly Zoom that everybody is welcome to come to. We started it for our team, but we opened it up for anybody that has a new guest that they want to share the business with. And so that's part of what we do to give back also in sharing, what we do. And so, we do the weekly Zoom, and I know for me, wanting to do better with like the share app and your play video. I was going to ask you on your play video how you're using that as far as talking with people. Are they seeing anything else with the business first, or are you just sending that? How are you using that?
Great question. Great question. So for me, I'm upping my intensity of getting into the presence of a prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first of all, if that's on a Zoom, that's a 3-way text, that's whatever I can do. Like, fast forward, we're in the presence of the prospect and I'm starting to share my story like Crystal Vance talked about. Like I'm telling them the timing. I'm showing them a few of the products. Like I'm putting the Renew out there for an example, because they've talked about their sleep or they've talked about their lack of energy or whatnot. And then I'm telling them, listen, you're going to be blown away with the products. But the timing of where we're at right now with this company, I got to show you, like, I know you can do this. I call it the play. I just want to show you, because subconsciously what happens with the play is when you press play and back up and just stop talking and you let them watch, they're going to see this is the only reason Brent Palmer got in the industry. I felt like I could get a couple of people. I didn't know if I could go crush it. I didn't know if I could do that, but I knew I could get a couple of people. And you're telling me a couple of people, and you're going to show me over the next 6 months how to go make $3,000. Now, that might not seem like a lot right now, but I was a high school football coach. The supplement of a high school football coach in the state of Alabama was $12,000 a year. So you're telling me a quarter of my supplement I could make over the next 6 months? Like, that pays for Christmas for me. Like that, we don't realize the value of $3,000. It sends my family on a trip in the summer. Like what does $3,000 do for you, or would do for you, right? So you're showing subconsciously that person 3,000, and then I'm going to show you here, you get to Utah, how to jump into a 6-figure income, and it's showing all that without you having to do anything. All you're doing. So when I prospect people, here's what I try to look at wherever I'm at: coffee shop, Zoom. And Crystal, maybe you can elaborate on this, but because me and you, like, we've been in a lot of things together. I want to see the glimmer in their eyes. Like, when they see this, is there anything that gets a light in their eye? If it does not, then that just means they didn't get it. Like I can sit there and fuss and argue with them and go back and forth, or I could go, you know what? Maybe they didn't get it. There are people out there that will never do this industry. They just won't see the vision. They can still use our products, but I just am getting in front of them with the play so I can see if their eyes light up. Kind of like bringing that player into my locker room. I got the clothes out, I got the shoes out, and I'm taking him out on the field, and I'm playing the music, and I'm trying to recruit that basketball player in to play football for me. And I give him my best shot. I mean, I got the energy, man, we're jacked up. This is you scoring. Listen to the crowd. And then I look at him in his eyes and he goes, Coach, I don't think I want to play football. Well, there's your sign, Brent. Like you gave it your best. Let it go. On to the next. So, Antoinette, I know you know that, but I'm trying to be a little animated with it to say, once I share what I need to share, then I'm going to pop that play video and go, here's what we do to get started. It's 3 minutes long, but I'm going to look and I'm going to kind of go back and forth with them a little bit. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. I'm looking for, wow.
Or can you play that again?
Yeah. Show me this. So what about Utah? Like, what's happening in Utah? That's all I'm looking for. And it's so much easier when you can press play and watch somebody. Because if you're doing the talking all the time, you can't see the cues sometimes. True. Unless you're good, The longer you're in this, you'll see the cues. I mean, I know you know the cues now, Antoinette, but Crystal, anything you want to add on that part? That's a great question, Antoinette. I hope that answered what you were saying.
That was a really good question. And the other thing is you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So at the end of the day, like I see so many people trying to do this perfectly. No, I don't want to talk to that person until I know exactly what to say to them. And action will fortune follows the bold. Your boldness is what they follow. It isn't anything you shared. And I want you to step back to the minute that the person was sharing to you about this company. Were you really listening to every single word they said? Or were you kind of getting like the outside of it and you were internally having this whole conversation? That's those 3 filters. You were doing it too. And so it always makes me giggle a little bit. People are trying to get this perfect presentation done when they're not going to hear but about 20% of it. And the things that they do hear are the things they were supposed to hear. So that's why your greatest tool is your story, because they've never heard that before. So they'll pay attention to that. And then just like Brent said, with that tool, with the play, if they're supposed to, they're going to hear what they need out of it. And if it glazes over their eyes, this was considered a drip. There'll come another time when you'll get to drip another tool on them, and then maybe they're ready then. You don't get to make decisions when people are ready, but you do get to make decision when you take action. And that's all you're responsible for is action, your own, no one else's. Whew. Thank goodness,
No,
right?
that's right. That's right. That's perfect. And listen, when you find a tool, if you want to recreate, I love reverse engineering things. You know, one of the guys as we end, I knew this very successful real estate agent. Okay. Follow me here just as I end. And I went to lunch with him one day, and he's super young, a lot younger than me. And I went to lunch with him, and I'm like, dude, you have crushed it in the real estate market. Like, what did you do to get started with no credibility? And he said, I stole I stole on social media. And he called it stole. He said, I stole what other realtors were doing. Like, so if they posted a home on theirs, a very successful real estate agent, he said, I would just go copy it, and I'd change a few things, and then I would put it out. And he said, I learned how to just put it out more places. And it's casting a net. I casted a net using someone else's stuff. And that's how I got my start. I started learning the lingo. I started learning how the successful talked and what they said and how they acted. And I thought, man, our industry is the same way. And that's what I hope you find here, is that there truly is no perfect way. There's your story. There's events that need to be taking place. There's tools that need to be utilized. And then there's recognizing people and yourself. And as we do that, we get better, we learn more, we start to build a community and the right culture, and things start to grow. The universe takes over, and we keep out greed and ego. Like we have to pray that out, because it can attack us at all angles. Even if we think we're the strongest, it's still there. And so if we went through that, like it's groups like this, it's not me, it's groups like this that keeps us all at bay, remembering, no, not that way, this way. No, you got away from the basics, go back here. And that's why these 3 action items that I gave you, let's do them. They're super simple. Everybody on here can do it. Beginner or somebody who's been in 25 years, or you can choose not to. If you choose not to, then you got to tell yourself, I might be willing, but I'm not coachable. And maybe I'm not hungry right now. But if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, you'll go knock these out. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first session. We're going to do a lot, and we're going to bring a lot of people on. We're going to do a hard stop on the hour. So it is the hour. I appreciate your time. I value your time. We'll get this recording up, and we'll see you next Tuesday for Chalk Talk session. Grateful for you guys. Love you. Truly love you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so
Brent.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Great
you.
day.